I'd like to bring out our three panelists right now. You have their biographies there. Kyle Frazier representing the point of view that this is a very old earth and it was created by the Lord. Dr. Kent Hovind saying it is a relatively young earth, saying about 6,000 years. And Dr. Michael Shermer, if our panelists would come. This is Dr. Kent Hovind. If we can have Kyle Frazier, if you'd come out and join us at this point. Try and get our people out here. An old colleague of mine from PBS days in Los Angeles, Dr. Michael Shermer. Michael, if you'll join us now as well. Well, my role is somewhat limited tonight, but I do have the most important duty of all. This is a cell phone. Turn yours off. Please. Okay. Now, panelists agreed that I could do this. We like to know with whom we are conversing. Would all of those of you who believe in God, however you understand that to mean, please stand up. Those of you who denominate yourself as a Christian, please continue to stand. The rest, please sit.
What?
If you are a Christian, remain standing. If you are a Christian who believes that the earth was created in the last 10,000 years or so, please remain standing. The rest of you sit. It's a young earth crowd.
Oh, my goodness.
We ask only as we talk about, okay, you can all sit down now. It's not like Simon Says. I do that with the first graders that I teach on Sunday, and they always win. I would encourage you to bring to this debate that which C.S. Lewis brought to every single one of his books, an openness to experience and a wonder at the world as it is created. I am a mere Christian. Denomination doesn't matter tonight. It ought not to matter in how we consider our panelists' presentations. But listen with an open mind and with a spirit to be led as our authors and experts bring us. And here are the rules, so you know what we're going to do. 15-minute beginning statements from each of our panelists, followed by 5-minute rebuttals, conversations. That takes us to an hour if you're doing the math and you're a lawyer really slow, like me. And then 2-minute round, and then we're going to take a break. So a mere hour and 10 minutes away, you'll have a chance to mumble to your neighbor about what's been said. But until then, till we get to our break, please listen with great attention. We begin with Dr. Kent Hovind. Doctor.
All right. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here in Minnesota. My name is Kent Hovind. I live in Pensacola, Florida. I was a high school science teacher 15 years. And now for 14 years I've been doing seminars on creation, evolution, and dinosaurs, and I stand without apology for the concept that God created this world in 6 literal days about 6,000 years ago. And I think the evolution theory is one of the dumbest theories in the history of humanity. So there's where I stand. Okay. Now, I will present the creation view. This is what I believe. That's how science is supposed to work. You present your theory and everybody tries to prove it wrong. If you can't prove it wrong, then maybe it's right. The Bible teaches about 6,000 years ago, God made everything. In 6 days, the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is. And I don't need any help to interpret that verse, and I don't think the average person does either. I think he's telling us he made it in 6 days. And the Bible says death came into the world because of man's sin. Man disobeyed God, and that's what messed this place up. The Bible says by man came death, in Adam all die. And before the flood came, the Bible says the people lived to be more than 900 years old. During this time, reptiles, which never stopped growing, would grow to be enormous. Dinosaurs were big lizards that lived with Adam and Eve. And then Noah took them on the ark. We cover all that in my video number 3 of my series. Then there came a big flood. God was sick and tired of all the sin, so he completely wiped out this world with a universal flood, not a local flood, a completely worldwide flood that destroyed this entire planet. And that left behind all the fossils, the oil, the coal, the natural gas, the sediment layers that we see, and the canyons like Grand Canyon, all formed during that flood in the days of Noah. Noah brought onto the ark 2 basic kinds, 2 of each basic kind of animal. Since then, there's been a lot of varieties produced. There's been big dogs and little dogs, and they probably had a common ancestor, a dog. Science tells us things that we can observe or study or test. That is science. Okay? Evolution is not science, and technically creation is not science. Neither view is technically scientific. We cannot observe the creation. We cannot observe the evolution theory. Both are inherently religious. The difference is the evolution religion is tax-supported. That's the primary difference. Now, I like science. I'm not against science. I collect science books, and I'll debate anybody on any scientific topic. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. But I'm not against science, and I don't know any Christians that are. But there are some things mixed in with our science books that are just simply poisonous. Now, Texas has a law that requires instructional materials to be factual. That's a law, okay? Florida has a law that says textbooks shall be accurate. Wisconsin has a law that says textbooks shall have factual accuracy. Alabama says textbooks shall be adequate and current. California says textbooks shall be factually accurate and reflect current and confirmed research. Minnesota says a teacher shall not deliberately suppress or distort subject matter. Yeah, sure. Hey there, fella. You betcha. Okay? Now, the problem is none of those states are enforcing those laws. There are things used to support the evolution theory that are just plain lies. There is no other way to say it. It's a lie. And we're going to try to get to some of those tonight. But we need to define what we're talking about. This word evolution has at least 6 different meanings. Only one of them is scientific. First, you would have to have cosmic evolution, the origin of time, space, and matter. Nothing can evolve unless there's something there to evolve. So the evolutionists are always trying to avoid this one because they say it's not part of evolution. It has to be part of evolution. People say, well, you know, we just believe evolution is dealing with things changing. Okay, well, how did the things start? You don't have a coherent theory unless you can explain the origin of time, space, and matter. Secondly, there'd have to be chemical evolution. According to the Big Bang theory, the Big Bang produced hydrogen and maybe some helium. Well, how did we get these other elements? You mean uranium evolved from hydrogen? They'll say, well, this happens in fusion in stars. Yeah, but you can't get past iron with fusion. There is no explanation for why we have all these different chemicals other than God designed it. Thirdly, we'd have to have stellar evolution. The stars would have to evolve. Nobody's ever seen a star forming. We see a few spots getting brighter, and the evolutionists will say, see, there's a star forming. No, there's a spot getting brighter. Okay? It could be the dust is clearing, and you're seeing a star that was already there. Nobody's ever proven the formation of one star. And yet there's enough stars out there right now that everybody on planet Earth can personally own 2 trillion of them to yourself. Those are the ones we know about. We don't know about the ones that we don't know about. Fourthly, there would have to be organic evolution. Somewhere, somehow, life has to get started. And the evolutionists really don't like to talk about this one, but they're stuck with a very embarrassing position. Modern 21st century scientists are still believing something proven wrong 200 years ago by Pasteur and Francisco Redi. They still believe in spontaneous generation, that life can come from non-living material. Now, if you want to believe that, that's perfectly fine. I don't care what you believe. Don't call that science. And don't make me pay to put that in the public school system as part of science, okay? That's part of your religion. You ought to keep that at home. Fifthly, we have what is sometimes called macroevolution. I don't like this word, and nor the next one, but this says there are changes from one kind of animal to another. Nobody's ever seen that happen, okay? Lastly, we have what's called micro, and I really don't like that phrase, but I'm going to use it tonight to explain it. Microevolution tells us there are variations within the kinds. You may get a big dog or a little dog, but you're going to get a dog, okay? The first 5 definitions of this word are purely religious. None of those have been observed at all. They are outside the realm of science. But the evolutionist has to believe that all 5 of those happened. What we do observe are billions of little changes within the